So I have another one of those smart body composition scales, and nowadays there seems to be a gadget for everything, and me being into gadgets and also being into healthy living, I'm always interested in finding ways of combining those two things. Now this one is by a company called Runstar, and the model number is FG211LG. And you can find it out there on Amazon for about 110 bucks. And that's for the gray version, or 116 bucks for the black. I have no idea why they are different prices, y'all. But I've been using this scale for the past 2 months or so, and I've even compared it to another smart body composition scale that I have. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. All right, so what makes these scales smart? Well, for one thing, they connect to an app. In this case, it's called the StarFit app, and it connects and syncs with your phone via Bluetooth, and that's how it's capturing your readings, your weight readings. And that just allows you to track your weight gain or weight loss over time. Let's just hope it's weight loss, right? And then the StarFit app also syncs with Apple Health and Fitbit. And this one has electrodes, so you can see the 4 electrodes. This is where you place your feet. And then there's electrodes here for where you place your thumbs. And then underneath for the rest of your fingers here. All right, and that's how it's taking measurements for various parts of your body. So in addition to weight, it gives you BMI. And I'm not the biggest fan of BMI, but that's another story for another day. But you also get body fat, bone mass, muscle mass, BMR, which is basal metabolic rate, basal or basal, not sure how you pronounce that, but that's basically how many calories your body is burning at rest, right? So I actually found a site that allows you to calculate your BMR. So I put a link to that in the description box. So if you're interested in that, check down below. But this scale generates a lot of data, you guys. They're saying 28 different body composition measurements. And what's great about the app is when you click on one of the data points, it gives you a definition of what it is. Most of them are pretty good, but honestly, you'll probably have to Google or Chat GPT many of them just to really understand what the heck it's trying to tell you. For example, we've got WHR here. So if we click on that, all right, so we can see here, this is waist to hip ratio, and you can see the explanation there. Distribution of body fat in the waist and buttocks. Then you've got body water here, and that obviously measures water weight. And then there's protein here, and you can see the description there. Proteins are one of the building blocks of body tissue and can also serve as a fuel source. And it gives you the source where it's getting that definition. And as you can see, it's saying that my protein is high. The thing is, I don't know if that's good or bad. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that good or bad? Now, I don't know about you, but all of that can be kind of overwhelming just with the number of data points that you have available. I actually only focus on a few data points if I'm being realistic. Weight, body fat. I do still monitor BMI, even though I'm not a big fan of it, but I do monitor it. BMR and visceral fat. So those are the main ones that I focus on the most. I like having all the other data there, and you can still see trends and so forth, but those are really the only ones that I pay really close attention to. The app even produces a report, and you can access that by clicking this icon right here. And you can see you get this body composition analysis report with all of the data organized, and it gives you an overall body score. You can see in the upper right hand corner there, and you can see mine is 79 out of 100. Again, I don't know if that's good or bad. Now, I am kidding around a bit just due to the sheer amount of data the app presents. But again, to me, the main benefit of tracking your readings like this is just so you can see your progress or lack of progress. And that's over time. And due to that, that's a really great way to see if you need to make any adjustments. For example, for the past 2 months or so, I've gone on vacation, I visited my mom's, and I basically took a break from my otherwise pretty consistent low carb, high protein way of eating, basically my lifestyle. That's how I typically eat. Now, due to that little departure, I did pick up about 6 pounds over those 2 months, having lost, I think about 35 pounds, overall over the past 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months, somewhere in there. So I picked 6 pounds back up. But I was able to see that not only in my weight measurements, but also in all of the other measurements, right? So I could see my body fat, my visceral fat, and my BMI all start to trend upward along with the my weight. And even my BMR changed some. So remember, that's measuring how much energy, how many calories you burn at rest. When you're just chilling, your body's just at rest, you're not doing any major activity, that's how many calories you're going to burn. And for me, that's between 1,800 and 2,000. That's how many calories I'm going to burn. So once you know what your BMR is, you know how many calories to cut to be at a deficit. So over the course of 7 days, over the course of a week, you want to reduce your intake, your calorie intake, by 3,500 calories, which translates into 1 pound. So 3,500 calories translates into 1 pound. If you break that down further, that's about 500 calories per day. So for me, if I'm using, let's just say I use 2,000 as a benchmark, I need to bring that calorie intake down to 1,500 in combination of my diet and activity level. If I can bring my activity level up, and you're not really going to be able to do that to as significant a degree as you can with just cutting out some of those calories. So, and you have to do what's sustainable for you. For me, my BMR is where it is because I work a desk job, so I'm not as active as I would like to be during the day. But you may be a lot more active than I am, so your BMR could be much higher. Maybe it's 2,200, 2,500, maybe even 3,000. But whatever it is, you just kind of use that as a benchmark to know how many calories you should be burning per day to either maintain your weight or lose some weight. You can basically tell yourself, time to get back on track, my boy. All right, let me give you a quick demo. The scale works just like any other electronic scale. You stand on it barefooted and grab the handle, making sure your thumbs and your fingertips are on the electrodes. Now, first things first, open the StarFit app and then step on the scale. The app starts to play a little tune and audibly tells you what it's doing using audible cues. And this is what you'll hear when the reading is complete. You can turn that audio feedback off if you prefer not to hear it, or you can just mute your phone. Now you can go into the app and check for your results and see all of the measurements that were captured. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I compared this scale to another smart scale I have, and this one measures a little higher than the other one. It's usually different by a pound. That's not enough to cause me any concern, and again, I'm more interested in the trending over time. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If so, hit the like button. Consider subscribing because I incorporate health gadgets into the content I create on this channel. So subscribe if you're interested, and share the video if you think someone else would benefit from it. As always, be good to somebody, be good to yourself. Later, y'all.